Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, Iceman and Bob, Tech and Gaming. I'm here to do a live stream. I haven't done one in a moment, so I wanted to do one and give you all an update of what's going on, or should we say, in my neck of the woods. I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to the weekend. Hopefully, you get to spend some time with your television sets, whether you're watching content or gaming. So, the purpose of this stream is for me to give you all an update on what you can expect from me and my YouTube channel in 2024. All right. I'm also here to try and answer as many of your tech questions as possible in the amount of time that I have right now. I know many of you leave questions for me in the comment section of my videos, and I try to do my best to answer them, but obviously there's so many questions and several different videos, so it gets challenging to get to every single person and every single question. So that's part of the purpose of this live stream here. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to give you all a few minutes to come in. And make sure you hit the like button when you're here. I definitely appreciate it. All right, with that being said, I will get started shortly regardless of who's here. So consider this a 2-minute warning. All right, and after you come in, just please let me know you're here. And if you can, post your question in the live chat if you have one for me, and I will do my best to answer that. All right. Some exciting things coming up. You know, we're right around the corner from 2024 while we're waiting for people to come in. We're right around the corner, and this technology is going to be upon us. Now, I know many of us have been talking about the LG G3 and the C3 while we're on the subject of LG, and we have been talking about the Samsung S95C and the S90C and all the other variants depending on the retailer, but it's essentially the same television sets. We also have been talking a lot about Sony televisions. We've got so many Sony televisions. I mean, we have the X90L, then we got the 93L, we have the A80L, the A95L. Those are some of the main ones that have taken center stage. So we've gotten a lot of exciting technology, and mainly the biggest thing was the second generation of QD OLED, brought to you by Samsung Display, adopted by Samsung Electronics as well as Sony. And then we also had MLA technology, micro lens array technology, that also debuted. So these are some exciting technologies. Many of us are looking forward to see what CES will bring. So speaking of CES, I will just go ahead and pretty much roll into it, right? You know, CES is one of the biggest events when it comes to electronics and technology that has graced the planet. With that being said, one of the things that we can look forward to is hopefully some new television sets. Now, I'm going to tell you what I expect to come out. Obviously, we don't know what will come out. We will have to see. All of this will be made known as soon as it's released. With that being said, one of the things that we're going to hopefully see, and I will tell you what I'm looking forward to at CES, we'll see how close we get to that expectation. And then we will also talk about what you can expect from me. Okay. So what I'm looking forward to in 2024, right, from all of the manufacturers is this is what I want to see. Now, I'm going to go in no particular order, right? Just no particular order. I'm just choosing to talk about these things, all right? And so what I want to talk about is Hisense, right? One of the things that I expect to see from Hisense is an increase in their picture processing. Hisense has made serious strides. Many people haven't even seen the UX. You could call it a prototype television, but I was able to see it and compare it against the Sony, right? The 95L. We're talking about the micro LED version, not the A95L. Y'all know what I mean. Anyway, I was able to see it and compare it, and it looks very promising. The sound, unfortunately, we were unable to give you all a sound test on the live stream, but let's just say the TV's very, very promising. And if they take any of that particular type of processing and make that available on their lower models, then I'm looking for a home run with Hisense, especially if their prices. I expect the U9K or whatever it's going to be to just be a beast if that's what they're going to do. And then they pass that technology on to their other models. So that's what I'm expecting mainly to see from Hisense. I think if they do that, they're going to have a home run grand slam with their particular television sets. What I expect from TCL is a similar thing. I expect TCL to do somewhat of the same thing. We don't know what they're going to do, but in any case, that's what we expect, right? Okay. Sony last year at CES did not make a major appearance. So I don't expect Sony to make another major appearance. However, they're most likely to make announcements about their technology. So this may be as early as March if we follow the timelines that happened last year. It's currently this year, but it may be last year for some of you that may come back and watch this video in 2024. Maybe March when they do their event and we find out what they're going to bring. So what do I expect from Sony? I hope that with the A95L, I hope that all of the menu settings and availability of options and the layout, I hope that all of that is available on all of the 2024 model television sets. It works great on the A95L. So if they make that available for all of the television sets, hey, it's a win. Currently, at the time of this live stream in 2023, if you buy any other television set by Sony besides the A95L, you're going to get a different set of menus. And they did issue an update. They gave people the game menu, but it's not the same. It's not as robust as the A95L. So I'm hoping across all of the Sony models, they include that. If they do, I think that's going to bode well for Sony. It is what it is. I do not think that we're going to see an A95M in terms of technological advance. We may see them add certain things, polish it up, but I don't see them necessarily making a huge leap from the picture quality that we have from the A95L. Now, Sony could reveal that, hey, they tweak their processor, the XR cognitive processor on another level. Maybe they add some other things. I think if Sony did that, that would be great as well. There are some areas that Sony can still stand to work on. Again, no television set is perfect. I know many people see, oh, the A95L, king of TVs. But just like the A95K was the king of TVs, it was not perfect. And just like the A90J was the king of TVs, and it was not perfect. Just because you win awards or just because you're the MVP or what have you does not mean that you're perfect. So there's some things that Sony can work on, and hopefully Sony gets 4 HDMI 2.1 inputs, because I know for many people, they go have a receiver. If you buy a new sound bar, you're going to generally get that 4K 60 or whatever that you want, the 8K pass through on the ports. But nonetheless, if they bring this, that would end that argument that, well, Sony doesn't have 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. So I'm hoping that perhaps maybe the SoC will become available to Sony, and then it would warrant the price for a lot of people. I understand the build quality, I understand the sound, I understand the picture processing, but for some, that's not enough. And being that Sony charges a premium, aka the Sony tax that we like to joke around and say, they charge a premium over the other brands. So that's something that should be packaged in. Perhaps we also may get 144 hertz gaming, but honestly, when it comes to all these television sets, I don't really expect that to be reliable until maybe the next 2 or 3 years. Just We need to have a technological advance, and costs have to match that to be affordable to the consumer. And then I think that all of these TVs will safely do 144 hertz. If any TV is going to do it first, it's going to be Samsung, because they were the first to already have that technology available. So we'll see what happens. But if Sony does that, I think that'll be awesome. They'll check all the boxes. Update the game menu for all of their television sets, no matter whether it's mini LED or just LED or what have you. QD, OLED, doesn't matter the trim across the board. Hopefully 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. Hopefully 144 hertz gaming. I don't think Sony would implement it unless it's pretty much reliable. But when it comes to the gaming side, Sony has implemented things in the past. VRR, cough, cough, and a few other features. There was some issues with that. So we'll see. Hopefully Sony does well with that. We'll see what happens. When it comes to Samsung, what do I expect to see? Right? I expect Samsung to continue pretty much what they already have. I think their recipe is working great. Many people will go to Samsung, especially if you're a gamer. And I think what they need to add to their S95D, if they continue to use the One Connect box, this is up to Samsung. Maybe they'll ditch the One Connect box. We don't know. But if they continue to use the One Connect box, perhaps work with the dropouts that people had with gaming. Now, I've heard of some people, shout out to TKK. I know he's experienced 4K 120 dropouts with the S95C. I haven't heard that issue being widespread. I know 144 hertz, but nonetheless, maybe Samsung can find some type of resolution where everything can keep up and that works with the One Connect box. Outside of that, if you're just using it for television, watching and content, you're not going to have any issue. That's a gaming issue. And then it also depends. Are you hooking up one of the latest gen consoles like the PS5, the Xbox Series X? For all we know, it's going to be 2024. So there's rumors about a PS5 Pro. Maybe that will play better with it and have some type of technology on its own. I mean, we have a lot to see. Perhaps, I don't know what Xbox is going to do. Microsoft has been kind of tight-lipped, so I don't know if there's going to be a follow-up to the Xbox Series X. We'll see, but I would suspect if there were to, then there would be some technological advances. In terms of the Nintendo Switch, you know, hey, the Nintendo Switch is at best lucky to even get up to 4K if they even release something. So it wouldn't even touch the limitations of our current 2023 technologies. And then, of course, if you have a PC, you know, it is what it is. The PC technology now is already far more advanced, I will say, than virtually any television set. Although we use our TVs to hook up PCs too, you're best suited with the monitor with that. But that's an entirely separate conversation, right? So I pretty much covered. And then LG, right? LG, what are we hoping for LG? I hope that LG perhaps, now I know Stop the FOMO did a breakdown based upon the screens, and there's been some photos released. We don't know if the C4 is going to get it. And might I add, the C4 is going to be the bomb. Y'all know what I mean by that, right? I was the first one to say that. Go back and look on my community tab, and I put that out earlier this year in 2023 before anyone was even thinking about the C4. We were still looking at the C3. So I was the first publicly to use that terminology about the C4. Anyway, we're hoping that the C4 perhaps gets some type of MLA technology. Otherwise, I don't know if it would be promising, if it would be enticing enough for people to choose that over, say, Samsung or Sony. I mean, many people will choose the LG, but I'm going to get into which one they'll probably choose. So if they can bring MLA to the C4, hey, you have a home run. If they cannot, then the C4 needs to be significantly cheaper than the competition. Then I could see them actually selling units. People will say, hey, it's cheaper, I'll go for it, right? The G4. The G4 needs to have its gaming processing on point. It needs to match its TV and movie content processing. When you switch modes, everything's fine with the G3, right? But when you go to gaming, you have to do all these loopholes and jumping around and fooling with this to try to get the picture. processing to where it needs to be, and then it still doesn't cover everything. And then you still have the issue, and that's just referring to HDR, but we still have the issue with SDR gaming, right? A lot of people don't talk about SDR because everyone's on the latest and greatest, pushing everything to the max and to the limit. And I like to just talk about and take a step back because everyone's not on the cutting edge of technology. Some people are in the middle and some people are still in the back, right? I mean, hey, take a look at Nintendo. Nintendo still does 1080p HD, right? All the other consoles and PCs, they doing 4K, 8K, all this stuff, right? So that's a perfect example of what I mean. Even companies are not releasing that content. So we'll see what happens. See what I said here about the C4. We're going to see what happens. In any case, hopefully they bring MLA technology to the C4 to make it brighter. Really, that was the only thing that was lacking. Get it back to where it was back when we had the C2 and the G2. They were pretty similar. You had the C1 and the G1. They were also pretty similar. I mean, obviously you had the difference in panel tech depending on the screen size and whether it was an Evo panel or not, and it was slightly brighter, but they were still within a close range. So it was reasonable for people to get the C model. So anyway, we hope we see that. And with the G4, I hope their process is up to spec, especially when it comes to gaming. Perhaps they can offer a picture clarity mode. Also, an 83-inch MLA is what a lot of people want. I don't know if it's affordable for them to do, but if they can do that with the G4, I think you'll have a home run. The G4 gets brighter than even the A95L at times. It just depends the scene, especially if it's a white scene. That's that WRGB OLED technology. It pushes whites like crazy. So hopefully that's what they do. I mean, you know, it is what it is. We have yet to see. Those are the expectations. Now, speaking of expectations, what can you expect from me in 2024? Well, I'm not going to be attending CES. All right. I'm going to let my other comrades attend CES. I will not be attending it this year. It's just not going to be feasible with me, with my schedule and my obligations with work and stuff like that. That's just not a good time. That may be a different story in 2025, but we're not there yet. We're just trying to approach 2024. That's what it's going to be. However, though I may not be attending CES, what I plan on doing is being one of the first to get all of these flagship television sets. Now, many of you knew back in 2022, I was literally one of the first people with the S95B. And I believe I definitely was the first person in Georgia. I could just get this technology very fast, very quickly. And so I plan on doing that for 2024. Something that I bring to the table that's different than a lot of your, and should I say mine as well, because I'm subscribed and I watch them as well. A lot of the other content creators aren't calibrators. I am. So what that does is, and obviously there's some calibrators out there, but most of them aren't. Most of them can only offer you what it looks like out of the box with any of these television sets and what other setting adjustments you can make, and boom, that's all they can do. And nothing's wrong with that. That's a beautiful thing. I just like to add that me being a calibrator, I can add that extra oomph. So you can do a comparison with the same television set and see if calibration is worth it. And would that give you the extra sauce that you're looking for with whatever TV brand you decide to go with, right? Then we can also see comparisons on that note with which one may be the best. It's going to be a lot of questions right now. We'll have yet to see. Obviously, I know Brian's Tech Therapy will be there. Stop the Fumble will be there. TKK will be there. Obviously, Caleb Dennison will be there. What's up, Caleb? Quite a few other people in the industry will be there. And they may be the first ones to reveal to us the technology. So though they may be going and revealing the technology, my job this year in 2024 is to be one of the first ones to actually obtain and put my hands on that technology so that I can give you all those assessments and let you know, should you look into upgrading, should you stay, et cetera, et cetera. Now, when it comes to Sony, especially if there's an A95M, a successor, we might be waiting again until August or September of 2024. But most likely Samsung, they usually come out the gate around March. LG does the same thing. Usually Samsung is early March, LG is later in March if the release times are the same. I mean, there's a lot of factors now we don't know, but that's just how it's been in the past. So I'm going to get my hands on that so I can provide you all with more videos and even compare it to some of this older technology, right? Many of you may not want to upgrade. You're trying to see, hey, how far off I am. I will say that I think we're reaching a point where everything is just starting to look amazing and you just can't really go wrong. You just pick the one that works best for your ecosystem, whatever you prefer, what you're used to, or maybe you're interested in trying. Just go with that and you pretty much have a home run. So that is what I have and what you all can expect from me in 2024. All right. So I will be attending a lot of the other events in 2024. I just won't be attending CES. Okay. So as far as CES coverage, you're going to have to look for those that I have mentioned earlier. And then when these television sets drops, I'm going to be one of the first ones with my hands on. All right. So that's my game plan, my goal. Get this content out, show you what they look like calibrated, not. Obviously, you all can make picture setting adjustments. I can do that too. But to give you that full-fledged comparison and see how far and how accurate the 2024 models are going to be out of the box. Because they just keep seeming to get more and more and more accurate. But they always need some adjustment. Even Sony's, even their Master Series are not 100. You ask any professional calibrator, they'll tell you the A95L needs to be calibrated. So I know it's Sony. I know it's a Master Series. The same thing with the A90J. They're going to look great. However, they still can stand to be calibrated. And then you can still make your picture setting adjustments from there, right? Even if you want to go off the EOTF curve and you want it to look whatever way you want, more punch and more pop, that's fine. However, when it's calibrated and you do that, you're more in line with how it should look even when you step off the beaten path. And I know Sony's good for tracking in that particular manner, but it'll just give you that extra oomph. So regardless of the TV or the brand, that's what my plans are for 2024. Please stay tuned. I'm going to have a lot to bring with you. If you are watching this live stream or you come back later when this becomes a video, and there is something that you would like for me to cover or talk about, please let me know in the comment section. I will certainly do that. I have some other videos that I'm going to try to get out at the end of the year. We'll see if time warrants it. We all know we're in the holiday season and things are just mighty busy right now. So that's my goals. That's my plans. That's what you can expect from me in 2024. Expect for me also to I'm going to get some people on my live streams and on my show, people in the industry. I'm going to try to bring them on. Obviously, that's going to depend on their schedules and if that works, but I'm going to have some people on. So just stay tuned, y'all. Lots of great things are coming. Again, let me know if there's something you expect. If you haven't subscribed, I kindly ask that you do so. Please hit that notification bell. Make sure you leave a comment. A lot of you leave amazing comments, and I want to thank you all for your amazing comments. All right, so if you have tech questions that you would like for me to answer, I'm going to try to perhaps reserve those for some of my live streams. All right. Super chats always get visibility, and you see and you know, and you definitely will get a priority with getting your questions answered. So be like, hey, I've been trying to get you, Iceman. I can't get you. You missed my message in the comment section. Hey, if you catch me, you know I'm doing a live stream, drop that super chat. Hopefully I see it. Obviously, if you do a super chat, I will. And then I can get your questions answered. So with that being said, if none of you have any other questions, that's what I have for you all. I hope you enjoy your holidays, whatever it is that you do celebrate, you don't celebrate, whatever you're into or not. I just hope that you enjoy this time right now. Enjoy your TVs, your monitors, all that good stuff. And with that being said, I will see you all when I see you all. And it's time for me to do my coveted live stream closing. Y'all know how I do this, right? Y'all know how I do this, right? Y'all know how I do this. As I always say, until we stream